Welcome to Outside the Ring. I am here with my guest, Madeline Gilbert. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Lots of photo editing to do today.
So, what got you into photography and wanting to take photos of the at wrestling shows?
So I started with portrait work back in high school,
Hmm.
and after a while I was feeling kind of burnt out. I wasn't feeling inspired or anything. Um, so I actually messaged XICW over on Facebook and the hopes of photographing a show. Because I thought, why not combine my two favorite things, wrestling and photography? And him and DBA agreed, and I was welcome with open arms, and things just spiraled from there. I started making connections. I got connected to Corky, so I got in with Grizzly Pro at the time. Um, Meeting a lot of other good connections that got me to Combat One, that got me to Exodus Pro. Um, so yeah, it's really all about networking, and that's really what got me this far.
So, what got you into the wrestling? Was it growing up watching it? You find out about it later on?
So I had actually only heard of XICW locally. I used to watch WWE back in middle school, late elementary school, and my dad would take me to, I think we only went to like three XICW shows, and they were the only promotion that I knew of around here. Turns out that is not the case, and there is so much more.
Oh
You
man.
just gotta look for it. And yeah, I was a John Cena kid. Um, it was mostly because me and my brother were watching it together,
Hmm.
and we went to like one Detroit WWE live show, and the whole family just kind of fell out of it, and so did I. And then it just picked back up in lockdown when I found AEW,
Hmm.
and I thought, I wonder what XICW is doing. So,
Yeah, there's so much independent wrestling, like not just in Michigan, but all around, where you really
oh
have
yeah.
to look out. But you'll be surprised about what you can find. And I feel like John Cena is one of the bigger names that you'll find people saying they were fans of growing up.
Mhm. I was also a Chris Jericho kid. I wanted his light up jacket really bad. AJ Lee, loved her to death.
There's, I don't know how true, but there's reports that she might return.
I hope so.
Did you find out about SCW through connections as well or through Dean?
Yeah, I found out about them through Dean. I also had some knowledge of them when they did that
Hmm.
joint show with Metro Pro a while back when they were still NWCW.
Hmm.
Um, so I only knew like a little bit of the roster, but I hadn't been to a show
Hmm.
um that was purely SCW till I went and saw Dean win the title.
Hmm. That was a big moment when Dean
Oh
won the
yeah.
title.
Oh, and for viewers that don't know, I'm the girl to Dean, the headliner Hendrix, if you are unaware.
How long have you been taking photos for wrestling shows?
Um, I think I just surpassed 2 years now. because I started in 2022, right before I graduated high school. Um, I was actually like trying to get my friends into wrestling. So I would take my high school friends there, and I think our first show was a horror slam show, and we just took all our friends. We were still friends with Xander. Um, so we went out to support him, and
Hmm.
some of my girlfriends were thinking about wrestling. Um, and life just gets in the way and
Hmm.
stuff like that. But yeah, I think I just surpassed 2 years.
Do you have any thoughts of wrestling like Dean or just taking photos?
Uh, I always think about wrestling
Hmm.
because whenever I see, I don't mean this to come off as a jab to the women in the state, but just seeing these women wrestle in the state, I feel like I can bring something to the table that's different if I were to get trained. Um, I think just build wise, I'm not like a tiny little girl. No,
Hmm.
like I don't mean to make it a jab or like hate on everybody. I love everybody. You guys are so talented. Um, but I think I just don't have the character work. I wasn't a theater kid.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm not super athletic, but with going to the gym and working a laborer's job, I think it could be something I could have done. But the way that life's going now, I prefer to work behind the scenes to put on a
Hmm.
good show.
Oh yeah. And I don't think it was taking jabs at anybody. Same with the men's too. Everyone
Hmm.
can attribute or contribute something different or new that you haven't
Hmm.
seen before.
Yeah, I think I could be the muscle mommy of Michigan, if you know what I mean.
Did you meet Dean through wrestling?
I did. So, funny story. We had actually worked together back at FU when we were running at Renegade's bar. Um, I didn't know who he was. I knew his name and I knew
Mhm.
he was with KTB at the time. Um, but a few shows go by, I see him at Grizzly Pro, I see him at Clash. From my knowledge, he is with his ex-partner at the time. And I really didn't think it would go anywhere, but um we had a really good discussion down in Paradigm, down in a out of Jeffersonville. Um, and we were also talking with Drag King Logan. That's how we really connected because we're both mutual friends. And then we started lifting together on occasion and just helping each other out. And we got a little flirty, and then things went from there.
Uh, is there any promotion in particular that you would want to take photos for?
Ooh, um, I think my number one that might possibly be attainable is Game Changer Wrestling. Um, I do like that it's not like, how do I phrase? There's some deathmatch, but it's not completely deathmatch focused.
Yeah.
There's more like hardcore style stuff, which I think I could excel at. But just from what I hear around Facebook and groups and such, that um, photographers just come to shoot and they're not paid. You're more than welcome to come shoot, but it's not like we are going to pay you for the service.
Hmm.
Um, and then another one would probably be TNA, of course, but we shall see if that ever happens.
Did you, because I know they went to, TNA went to Detroit. Did you end up going to that show?
No, I'm broke. I don't have money to spend
Mm.
like that, but I'm sure it was a good show. I had a lot of friends that went down there.
Mhm. I ran, because I went there. It was before my surgery and whatnot, but I ran into a few of my friends down there that I met through wrestling. But that's all I have for you. Thank you.
That's all?
Anything, anything you want to say before we hop off? Like where they can find you on social media and whatnot?
You can find me at Instagram at Gil Media. I just changed it from photo to media. Something new is dropping, so stay tuned in the next few months. Facebook, just Madeline Gilbert, or to see all my wrestling portfolio, it's Gilbert Photo colon independent wrestling. I will be posting Exodus photos very soon. That's actually what I was just doing before I logged on here. Um, but my next show is probably gonna be the next Exodus, which is March 15th, I believe. And oh, actually, no. Next show is going to be all class on February 8th. I will be taking promo pics and hanging around because that's my only job. So come see a good show out in Waterford. We have a really great time, and you will see the NWA television champion Carson Drake.
Thank you.
Thank you.